I'm Andrea.
And we're going to talk today about some tips for the end of the school year, especially specifically with budget.
Right. And so we're both close to the end of our school year. We were talking and realized that we both have money that we haven't spent from our PTAs. And we have the same amount of money, actually, ironically, to spend. And we have to spend it by the end of this month. And we're thinking of like, what can we spend this money on? It's like a use it or lose it. So we are definitely going to spend every penny of that money in our budget because we may not get it again.
Yeah. So I think you said your budget specifically through PTA. Mine is actually like my school budget, like my school counseling budget. So, I mean, I just looked the other day and there's a few like resources that I wanted to purchase, but I was also trying to see if maybe I have enough money in my budget to attend like the Ask a Virtual Conference. So that these are just some things like thinking about the end of the school year. Most people's budgets are over at the end of June, so June 30th. So it's a good time to check.
Right. And I think I'm gonna have to use mine on like tangible items. So my teammate and I talked about how we were going to spend the money and some of the things we're going to get in our office. Like I had quite a bit of board games and he didn't have many. So he wanted some board games that we made a list together and I'll plan to order and get some things. And then I put some like novelty things. I want a lava lamp to put in here. I'm gonna price it before I, make sure if it's over the budget, that is something I am willing to let go of the lava lamp. But some other things like the rug, I want a new rug. I want to get.
Yeah, and so like if you're thinking about things that you might want to purchase for the end of the school year, you could think about like maybe there's prizes or I don't know, gift cards or things you might want to purchase for groups in the future. So maybe you don't need to actually physically spend that money now, but like you could buy gift cards for things that you need. So I don't know.
You know what, for the gift cards, you may want to save that money and just ask for a donation. So you don't have to come out of your counselor budget for those items. You should not have to spend money on a prize type thing if you can get it as a donation. So you can use that money towards something else. And we were talking about doing the anxiety book, ordering some copies of that we're gonna do our study for.
Yeah, I'll see if I can grab that real quick. Thanks,
yeah, mine's at home.
All right, so we were talking about possibly using this book. And so we were trying to see if either of us had money in our budget to maybe get a copy for either students or people to borrow.
Well, parents, I actually, because it's a workbook, so I kind of, want to kind of gift it because you're supposed to write in it. But I think if we do our parent workshop, we could say if you sign up by a certain day, you get entered to a drawing and you get the free book.
That's a great idea.
So I can get people to sign up for it. Yeah. So I'm thinking to buy a couple of copies for that. And then of course, getting some student copies, for that. But we gotta entice them to join the book club. So.
So if you're trying to decide like things that you need from a budget or like trying to even determine how much budget you have, you might want to first check with like if you have an administrative assistant that's in charge of your department or your administrator to ask, how much money do I have in my budget? Is there an amount that I can use? Is there anything that's like earmarked for certain things? Sometimes I know for budgets, like you have to buy things from a certain category. So just trying to figure out how much you have and what can you use it for is a good idea. If you have some time left before you're done, or even if you are done, you still have time until June 30th.
And I just think about things that I use or something that I've wanted. Like one year I bought a Cricut because Danielle have one and I had money to get a Cricut to get one. So I used it for that.
Something that I use a lot of is cardstock. I know it's like a random thing, but I use a lot of, I really like Astro Bright's cardstock because it seems like it holds up very well and they have lots of different different colors that you can pick from. So that's something I use it for.
Make a list. I have a list, like a legit paper list.
Yeah, use it for everything.
And for me, that's how I built up my board games because the kids love having board games. Like today I had some kids after testing, they were playing Connect Four. And they had a variety of things to choose from. Connect Four is always a hit. Checkers, Simon, Uno. I'm looking at my list now. I have like even Monopoly, Life. We covered a nice gamut of board games, and they're also very good for when kids don't want to talk initially.
Yeah.
You ask if you want to play a game, and then they usually start talking once they get comfortable. I might let them win, and then they might talk, but we'll see from there.
Another game that I really liked recently is Brain Yoga, and like beforehand, Jason Reynolds was using a deck by this brand that's called Disruptus, but he actually created his own Brain Yoga cards now, so those are available if you search for Jason Reynolds. Like, I'm sure you can find it.
And also Target has a lot of a whole mindfulness section over in, like, I don't know if it's kind of like stationery area. They had a whole like I don't know what you call it, like a shelf, several shelves of mindfulness books and like journals and cards. So if you were looking for something like that,
Yeah.
Target has it too to spend your money on.
Mhm.
But think of it as like money to enhance your program. It's not like you shouldn't be afraid to spend it, because it's there for you to use for your program. And I mean, I previously came from a school that had a budget of this much, yeah, and I was spending. So be sure you're spending your money that you're being provided for your budget. And if you find yourself like not having enough, you always can ask for more. They can say no, but they can say, sure, we can up your money. So yeah, because I've gotten mine upped from 0 to now having money. So hey, take it.
Something like a couple years ago, we had some extra money in our budget, and we were actually able to get all new office furniture. So like one year my co-counselor got it, and then the following year I got different furniture. So like that's just another thing. Like if you have some extra money, kind of think outside the box. Like maybe it's not specifically for your program, so to speak, but like the aesthetic of your space, or to make your space more functional.
Absolutely. Office chairs are mine too, but I may be willing to buy my own because I want to get what I want from that.
Yeah.
I think what else? Even things I have on mine too, like some poster frames or frames for pictures, put around your office, that too. Even like your printables, like you said, with the cardstock.
Yeah.
Even from Canva, or I've done stuff from Vistaprint from previous years. You can just reprint it and pay from my counseling budget too, from Vistaprint.
Yeah,
So
those are all good ideas.
Yeah, printables. Like if you do like counselor passes or.
Yeah, I feel like I keep wanting to show visual aids, but a couple years ago, I made like these cards that I use as passes. Like they're like business cards, but I like write on the back.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that for lunch groups. I have some too. Yeah, for my lunch groups. Like
postcards to mail out to students. Those are all things you
can
think of. I mean, stuff that you're probably not thinking of right now, but like, what can I use this year's budget for the beginning of the school year next year? Like any new student groups or new student orientation type stuff. Like it's hard to know what the 2021-22 school year will be like, but
right. Like when you too, I got a new printer. I asked for a new printer. Like I needed an all-in-one, like a nicer color printer. Mine kind of just was like, I'm done, I quit. And I asked, can I spend money? And they were like, sure, you have money left, you can get the printer you want. So I got a new printer.
Awesome. All right, so these are some tips for using your budget before. I mean, again, use it before you lose it. End of the school year, stuff to think about. What can you use your budget for your office, for your program, or for the upcoming school year?
And if you don't have a budget, this will be the time to also talk with your administrator or maybe your school PTA to start with, could they have a budget item line for your counselor program?
And we will be sharing some future information about some other ways to get funding.
Yeah.
Because that's something that we both feel like nobody really talks about. How do you get funded for things? So if you have any questions, or if you are a counselor out there and you have questions for us about anything related to school counseling programs, or school counselors and technology, we're happy to help and maybe answer your question on a future video.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.